The International Labor Organization conference opens in the Bahamas. I'm Clint Watson. The stories ahead in the Bahamas tonight.
The Bahamian Riviera opening up the river of jobs to Bahamians. How to get on board.
And healthcare just months away from reality. The Bahamas tonight. The National Report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
A concentrated effort on reducing the high youth unemployment in the Bahamas is the focus of Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie with the International Labor Organization. Good evening, everyone. I'm Charisma Robinson.
And I'm Chris Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us. In fact, Mr. Christie in his keynote address at the opening of the conference at the British Colonial Hilton Hotel this morning renewed calls to address this vexing issue that's linked to many facets of society. Following his passionate address to the labor movement, Clint Watson tells us that Mr. Christie spoke in detail about this issue to the press alongside the Minister of Labor and the Director General of the International Labor Organization.
Knowing that I was assuming the chair and leadership of CARICOM, I raised the issue of youth unemployment. And I indicated there that we ignore it to our peril.
This same message Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie repeated several weeks ago while in Cuba, China, Washington, D.C., Costa Rica, and again last week at CARICOM, when he went a step further by placing the issue on the agenda and a comprehensive study presented by former Jamaican Prime Minister P.J. Patterson to come up with ways of tackling this mushrooming issue. And his message was no different at the International Labor Organization's Caribbean Ministers of Labor Conference on Tuesday. Speaking to reporters following his address, Mr. Christie noted that the 30% national youth unemployment rate is a major concern, one he is wholeheartedly committed to reducing.
Putting in place programs and initiatives that could accommodate this segment of our country, because, as I said before, we must be very careful of not allowing to develop a sense of hopelessness on the part of young people, that there's no need for them to even dream. And that sense of hopelessness we have to avoid at all costs.
The Prime Minister also admits there is a direct correlation between the high illiteracy among youth and high unemployment rate, but he's hoping to introduce a new concept of combining tourism and culture to provide new jobs.
And using that properly here and in the region, that I'm going to be able to have the right message that I hope will create thousands of new jobs for people who are talented and who would have various expressions. I think that will enable them to do that. We have to innovate in our countries. We have to focus. We have to use the brain power in our countries to come together to be able to sort of concentrate on this issue in giving young people who are the future of our country the best opportunity and most certainly hope.
There's also a thrust to get more young people involved in food production through BAMSI and souvenir production. ILO Director General Guy Ryder also discussed ways of employing disabled youth. He also spoke to what he called a broader issue.
We're excluding more and more people in our labour markets. That we're creating bigger and bigger divisions and inequalities in our societies are heading for a fall. And it's in the world of work, I think, that we can bring things back together. And in the same breath almost, Prime Minister, you spoke, and we were extremely welcoming of it, of the establishment of a new National Tripartite Labour Council.
The Prime Minister says he expects that there will be vigorous debates as the conference convenes over the next 2 days. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
And still on news from the labor sector, as the search continues for employment solutions, Bahamar, which is preparing to open its doors later this month, is conducting mass hiring and training exercises. Bahamar's Vice President of External Affairs, Robert Sands, confirmed those initiatives in a telephone interview with us today.
We are in the process of hiring and training thousands of employees we will need for opening. But the Bahama Gaming School is well underway. with 360 trainees presently being trained, and we have approximately 50 in manager and supervisory training. You would be aware that we've already graduated 650 individuals from the LDI, and they have been given job offers. We have a culinary pre-employment school in process, and we are working with academic institutions to offer culinary training and certification. And we are very happy that where we are at this point in time to meet our March 27th opening.
Today was a historic one on the labor front as well. After passing in both the upper and lower chambers of Parliament, the National Tripartite Council bill was signed by Governor General Her Excellency Dame Marguerite Pinlan at Government House this morning. President of the National Congress of Trade Unions of the Bahamas, Jennifer Isaac Stotson, was among those present for the signing. Isaac Stotson says the bill is something the trade union movement has been agitating for decades, as it now establishes a mechanism for social dialogue at the highest level.
And when we speak about social dialogue, it's not only addressing labor issues in the country, we're also looking at national issues that affect the country as a whole, that now labor, the employers, and of course government will be able to sit to a table and discuss these things intelligently and to be able to come up with what is in the best interest of our country. Yes, so Randall Fox, I'm sure, is proud today. I'm sure he's looking down from us above and he's saying, well done, that we have continued on the work that he started many years ago, and we have seen it come to fruition through this bill, and we look forward to having fruitful discussions with the employers and with the government moving forward.
Emergency services in Grand Bahama set to get a much-needed boost. We'll tell you more coming up in the Bahamas tonight.
The news is brought to you by Shell Quality Fuels.